Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're talking about how to kind of maneuver as a founder and what are the key KPIs and goals that you should be setting for yourself. As a startup founder myself and also working with a lot of founders over the years, I've realized that the differentiating factor between a good founder and hence their startup and somebody who's struggling is the way they manage their tasks and priorities, and this entails how they handle themselves on a daily basis, how they manage their time on a daily basis, where as a founder you're giving your time, energy and resources plays an extremely crucial factor in the success of your company. Having said that, everybody has a very unique way of dealing with things and managing their time and work, but worked with a lot of founders and seen them very closely. There are some things that stand out as a highlight, and they've proven to give success. So in this video, I've tried to compile those work ethics or processes which you can implement in your day-to-day life, which would help you to streamline your processes, have a clear vision, have a clear headspace, also help a smooth functioning of your activities and to keep you on track. So as a startup founder, there's literally nobody telling you how you should be spending your time every day. You must have heard of the term and not or. That means you need to turn every stone and optimize every metric of your startups to. But there's only so much time, resources and energy that you have every day in your hand. So optimizing that to the maximum helps you achieve all these metrics. So prioritization matters, and having a clear vision of your KPIs is extremely crucial. What are KPIs? KPIs are key performance indicators which you helped to track and record for both internal and external purposes. This keeps you on track. This gives you an understanding of where you are from where you decided to be and how far you have still left to reach your goal. Prioritization tells you in what order you need to tackle your problems each day. There are infinite things that you could do each day, but your work is never done. But prioritization tells you how you direct your time each day, how your team directs its time each day, and most importantly, prioritization helps you decide on what things that you don't need to do today. This is what your list of things to do in a day might look like. Now, the ones marked in yellow are things that I feel are super important. So though all the activities in the list need to happen, writing them down gives you a fair idea of what needs to absolutely happen today and what is truly going to push your business forward. So once you know what your KPIs are, which are your key performance indicators, and you've prioritized your day every day, so you make a list of the things everything that's on your mind, and then spend a minute on your list evaluating what are the things that actually are truly going to move your business in the forward direction, and make sure that those tasks are absolutely achieved in that day. This will make sure that you're not just busy doing things, but you're busy doing the right and the important things. It's easy to get lost when you're moving too fast, especially in a startup environment. So this practice really helps you a lot. It just takes a minute, but just evaluating what all you need to do and then picking your priority changes the course of your day, and then eventually changes the course of your business. So examples of these things could be, I've seen a lot of founders, especially solopreneurs, who get sucked into making their own social media posts and handling their own social media by themselves. It's actually very, very time consuming. Though yes, it is easy, you could do it by yourself, but you have to take a step back and think. You're hiring another freelancer or an agency to do that work for you, free up a lot of space in terms of time for you, also free up a lot of mental headspace for you. Your job as a founder is to, yes, in the initial days it is to kind of wear all the hats, but whatever can be outsourced, it would be much more better to do it Second could be making presentations. Yes, it's easy to do, but it takes a lot of your time, so you rather outsource it to somebody else. It's important to run fast, but it is also important to run in the right direction. A lot of startups, when they start out, they get so busy with the paperwork, setting the business, having its licenses, hiring a lawyer, putting the whole brand identity together, that they get so lost, and they spend so much time on this that uh, the time to actually go to the market is eaten from this. Time definitely is at a prime when you have started out, because the sooner you start actually making money from your business, the sooner you can raise more rounds. When you're moving slowly and time is not at prime, you end up burning a lot of money in the process. Also, it gives your competitors time to copy, and you don't have that leverage of first mover anymore. It could also raise flags with your investors, so don't waste time on things that are not absolutely important and priority. Everything that can be automated, please automate it. Everything that can be outsourced, please outsource it. Your time and your priority is crucial, so make sure that only things that help your business move forward is where you're investing your time in. Second is setting KPIs. Any founder should have 5 top KPIs drawn for them. This comprises of your long-term goals and your short-term goals. For a startup founder, your primary long-term KPI should be your revenue growth, obviously, and then you should have weekly goals to fulfill this. Example could be that, okay, this week I would have 10 new customers, or I would have sold at least 10, 12 products, whatever. Weekly tracking helps you in keeping track of weekly and daily goals and targets, keeps you at the edge, and it pushes you to do your best every day to achieve your long-term goals. Also remember, time is primary. That you should have a timeline that you set in your head to achieve these targets, and that then should be aligned with your team as well. So once you know what your top KPIs are, those definitely need to be priority in your daily tasks till a point where that shift happens and those KPIs are solved or taken care of till you have a next set of KPIs ready. Along with this, you should also know your biggest problem at that point, and that should definitely be a priority which you work on a daily basis on. Now this problem could be what is hampering your growth the most at the moment. So, and a very nice example of this is when Super Daily, which was a daily subscription grocery app, which in 2018 got sold to Swiggy. So these guys were facing the biggest problem is a high intent user, which basically is somebody who stayed on the page, who's reached the sign up but then hasn't made a purchase, were just dropping out and weren't making the purchase. So they kept this as their number one priority and focused on the problem as to what the solution is. So they figured that the high intent users were dropping out because there was a specific milk brand that they wanted, and it wasn't available on the website. So that's the reason that they figured the high intent users were falling off. So what Super Daily then did was, obviously they onboarded that brand, and they saw a 50% increase in their conversion rate. Along with this, they also started giving offers and optimizing the people who have just casually checked in Super Daily and have reach the app through reference. So by doing this, that they made sure that when these users reach the end of the funnel, there's no leak and they're further optimized. They did not take any actions just based on the understanding. They did not just glamorize the sign-in page or increase their call to action. They went to the bottom of the problem and actually understood what the real problem is, and then optimized accordingly. So when you prioritize your tasks and you have one problem at hand, it becomes easier to get to the bottom of it and solve it for good, so that in the future it doesn't create more problems. So as a startup founder and early stage startup founder, there should definitely be this on your task list in terms of a KPI, which is to speak to your consumers and really pay attention and focus on the feedback that you're getting, and make alterations accordingly. Usually the founders get so lost in managing everything else on the back end that they forget the most important and the most simplest thing is to just speak to your consumers and ask them about your product, ask them what better you could do, what was their experience. Just their feedback helps you immensely on developing your product, improvising it, reaching to new consumers, and just get to learn a lot. So every founder should have face time with their consumers, undoubtedly. Also, too much chit chat, too much thinking, too much brainstorming is also not good. That shouldn't be something that you're giving your time to. All these things are extremely important. You definitely need to attend conferences, network, you need to have conversations with your team members. All of that is extremely important, but in the end of the day, only your actions are going to give you results. So planning is crucial, but that should only be 20% of your time, and whatever you have planned should be quickly executed in the rest 80% of your time. Don't spend too much time just thinking and evaluating, because your startup is evolving every minute. It changes, the market changes, the sentiment changes very fast. So if you sit on a thing or an idea or a thought for very long, chances are that the palette for it must have already changed by the time you actually are at a place of execution, and you've lost that opportunity. So make sure that most of your time is going into action rather than planning and chit chatting. A lot of people leech onto and get stuck in just the comfort that comes with knowing that you've kept yourself busy. So they kill themselves, they are busy every minute of every day, but at the end of the day there's no real output or there's no real progress. So the goal is not to just be busy and keep doing things, but it's extremely important to evaluate what is it that you're keeping yourself busy with, and you have to be extremely honest with it. If it is something that is not going to push your business any further, it just makes you feel good, it makes you feel accomplished, that's a big red flag, that's a big indicator. You need to change your actions to not just being busy, but being busy doing the right things. In fact, it's okay to sometimes just take a break and not do anything, then do something which is not going to show any real progress. As a startup founder or anybody who's running a business, you'll have to take many decisions on a daily basis. So don't sweat over the decisions that don't directly impact your business. Just take the good enough, best enough decision at that point in time that you think, and move on with it. For the most important decisions, the best case scenario is that you're taking all the right decisions all of the time, which is hardly possible. So the second best case scenario is where you take the decision fast, whatever you think is good enough at that point in time, and move ahead. This then gives you time to fix the wrong decisions that you've taken later, and if it's a good decision, it just gives you that much advantage of time. So this method is considered as the top down approach. There's another way to set targets, which is a bottom top approach, which essentially means that you set a very realistic target based on whatever you have right now, that what is the best that you can achieve in this week, and then work your way up from there. Okay, to summarize the entire talk, to begin with, set long-term and short-term goals for yourself. Give yourself tasks which are divided on daily, weekly, monthly and quarterly basis. Now on a daily basis, make a list of everything that needs to be done and spend a minute evaluating what are the activities that are truly going to push your business forward, and then emphasize on them and prioritize them. While setting goals and KPIs for yourself, make sure that you're being very honest and very realistic with yourself. There are a couple of methods that we've discussed on how you should be setting these KPIs and what these KPIs should be. To summarize, move fast, learn fast, fail fast. So I want you guys to now write down or just think about what are your top KPIs. What are the top 3 things that you absolutely should be doing at this point, and what is that one thing which is blocking you from doing this, or what is that one thing which is creating the biggest problem for your business. And then I want you to sit down and think about how are you going to solve for this problem, and create a plan of action for how are you going to make the top 3 things that are important to you happen. I hope this video was useful for you. If it was, you can write down in the comments below and let me know your thoughts. If you have any other method of prioritizing your day, your tasks, and how do you go about this whole process, I'd love to know, and if we could share that with the users. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.